Hey guys, this is Mr. Forlins again, here to take you through your Week 6 vocabulary words. The words for this week were repercussion, conscientious, normalcy, humanitarian, and solvent. The first word, repercussion, if you look at the sample sentences here, the first one's talking about crime lord activities. The second one's talking about legal repercussions. Essentially what they mean here is basically consequences. Repercussions are backlash or consequences of doing something. For example, the second one talks about avoiding legal repercussions. If you want to shoot people by becoming either a police officer or a military sniper, they're basically talking about if you don't want to get arrested for killing people, you either have to do it as a police officer or a military sniper with probable cause. Repercussion here can be substituted with consequences. This is showed over here. It says consequences just ahead. Essentially, repercussion is backlash or consequences of an action that is performed or an action that's done. The second word is conscientious. This is an adjective. Conscientious is very synonymous with working hard or a diligent worker. I like the way that the two sentences kind of show contrast. The first one is talking about the reason why Carrie is a conscientious worker, because she completes every task. And then the second sentence, pay close attention to the word although. It's basically saying, although Jack is a conscientious student, he failed yesterday's math test. What that basically means is that usually Jack is conscientious, but in this particular example, he's not because he failed the math test. Keyword being although, right over here. Once again, an adjective, something that's done or performed well. Typically, conscientious students will do a great job on things, even if it's not taken for a grade. They still want to do it. They just basically want to do things well because they have an inner drive to do things that are right, or do things that are kind of close to perfection. The next word, normalcy, is a noun. Basically, it's pretty easy. Normalcy is the state of normal or the way that things once were. The example right here when it's talking about Mr. Harding is referring to President Harding. After the, we're talking about World War I here. It's a historical example. It's this desire to return to the way that things once were, oftentimes better than where they currently are. It says the sense of normalcy faded as they moved through the mall. What they're essentially talking about there is that things weren't normal in the mall. It was kind of an abnormal type of situation. So when you're thinking about this, the way I always think of normalcy is the word normal. It's kind of a state of desired conditions for people, or a state in which people really want things to be the way they once were, or the way that they should be. Humanitarian was your fourth word. This is a noun. This would be a really good one to describe a lot of the people that you're doing your case studies over this week. Most of those people would be humanitarians because essentially what a humanitarian is, keyword here, root being human, is they do things that benefits people. So it says Khaled Hosseini is a humanitarian. He works with refugees in Afghanistan. What makes this guy a humanitarian is that he works to help people. Kind of like a lot of your case studies, humanitarians are people that go out of their way to help people. You can kind of think of it like a philanthropist or just somebody that works to help other people. Once again, promoting human welfare, social reform, and as I said before, like a philanthropist would be a synonym with a humanitarian. Essentially anybody that goes to help other people. The last word is a sciencey type of word. This is solvent. So the key root on this one is with solvent is solve and solvent are not synonyms. For example, it says this solvent is sometimes used as brake fluid in automobiles. This is a very sciencey type of example right over here. When I think about solvent, basically it's a substance that dissolves into something. So when you have a solution, you put a solvent into the solution. That's the thing that's going to dissolve within it. So you add a solvent into a solution. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Once again, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask me. And this concludes the Week 6 vocabulary review. Please make sure to also study Week 5 in preparation for your quiz on Monday.